Boruto showing up late is the anime equivalent of finally answering the phone after your friend texted and said, "Never mind, I already died, I already got captured, game over." Kashin Koji warned him this timeline was coming. Boruto tried to outplay fate anyway, and Ko basically responded with, "That's cute, so anyway, Sarada's mine. She doesn't have main character plot armor." Now, everyone in the fandom expects Kawaki to join in on the rescue mission because apparently every problem in the manga is legally required to include Kawaki so the two Koma bros can battle together. But if this story really wants an emotional payoff instead of just another power scaling debate disguised as a chapter release, then there's only one person Boruto should bring: Mitsuki. Join me in today's newest Naruto Explained video where your OBC, your original Boruto chief, makes the argument for why it should be Mitsuki who joins in on this Sarada rescue mission if the story wants the maximum payoff. Also, if you're into Bleach, don't forget to head over to my Anime Explained channel where the every Bankai and Bleach's manga and light novels video is being explained. Timestamps included since that's over an hour long. Lastly, with Boruto's manga on break, a lot of Patreon exclusive videos are making their way to the channel, like the Obito video essay uploaded a few days ago, and the video on the Sage of Six Paths that you guys should have seen yesterday, and videos on Kage and Kakashi and Hashirama, Iwabe, and other lore-based content are coming to the channel, so we won't be talking about Boruto's manga discussions for 30 days straight. So even when Code grabbed Sarada, it changed everything. Boruto's original plan was not terrible. It was actually pretty clever. It wasn't the big brain plan you'd expect from someone like Shikamaru, but more so, it was the Naruto Uzumaki style plan. So simple, it was actually brilliant. He told Sarada, "Code is gonna grab you, so let him grab you. Just go along with it, but make it look realistic. You keep these handy dandy flying Raijin markers hidden, and I'll be there the moment you throw them when he takes you to his hideout. Then we double team him, we go back to Konoha, you get me a Thunder Burger because if I have to eat more wild fish and berries again for dinner, I'll go crazy." Code basically 86'd all of that when he tossed the flying Raijin markers away and he pushed Sarada through his claw mark. It happened just as Kashin Koji told Boruto before Boruto teleported away. The plan would fail and Boruto would be too slow to stop it. He got there a few seconds too late and his flying Raijin markers, they were on the ground. Unlike his father, Boruto doesn't have the luxury of rushing in, Rasengans blazing and winging it as he goes. Sarada's gone. It's Boruto's fault, which makes that failure hurt worse than anything else. She trusted him. He put her life in danger. It was supposed to be the two of them against Code. Now she's alone and Boruto can't get to her. Boruto knows how this story ends in all the other timelines. Sarada's captured. He does the only thing he can. He surrenders himself. He surrenders himself so she can be saved. Think for a moment how big that is. Strongest shinobi in history, has the flying Raijin, has the Rasengan Uzuhiko, knows every non-Sharingan required jutsu that Sasuke mastered, has Momoshiki's power. Boruto is still forced to trade himself for Sarada's life in every timeline. Every man has a thumbscrew, and Code found Boruto's. Checkmate. Code knows Boruto values Sarada's life more than his own, but we as readers know he also has enough faith in his allies that even if he were to fall, they would somehow do the impossible. Not only would they avenge him, but they would stop the world from being harvested as a chakra fruit, because Jura doesn't want to consume Boruto. He views him as being so dangerous, Boruto just needs to be killed. Naturally, the knee-jerk reaction is to say this is where Boruto goes to get Kawaki, and after reading the chapter, after seeing Kawaki with Himawari as they were clearly looking at Momoshiki's takeover of Boruto's body, that was my thought too. However, after reading Boruto's manga from part 1 to the current chapter, which I strongly recommend doing at some point while the manga is on break because hindsight is extremely crazy with this manga, I believe Kishimoto has a chance to give us a bigger payoff by subverting our expectations. Instead of Kawaki, it should be Mitsuki. Narratively, that's the bigger move to make in my opinion. It's not just because Mitsuki has been wavering since chapter 1 when it came to Kawaki. Instead of chapter 1 of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, we need to go back to chapter 1 of Boruto Naruto Next Generations. This is a Team 7 problem, an OG Team 7 problem, so no Kawaki's needed. He can go sit in that black chair while Amato tinkers with the ninja tech in his body for another power-up. In early Boruto, the dynamic of Team 7 was pretty clear. They understood each other, and they covered up for their weaknesses without question, without hesitation. Omnipotence broke all that. In part 1, when Mitsuki had his memory swapped, he didn't hesitate to attack Boruto. Even when Sarada tried to talk him down and physically stand between them, it was Boruto and Sarada at that point in time, standing against the unknown dangers of omnipotence. During that 3-year time skip, Mitsuki watched Sarada put her faith in Boruto. He watched her throw her Hokage dream away to stand up for Boruto, the Hokage killing traitor. Mitsuki is the logical character that we know him to be, and even though it's not said in the manga, we know from just looking at his character that he likely was confused by what it was he saw during that time skip. Yet in chapter 1 of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, it showed us that even Mitsuki was having doubts. His obsession with the sun and moon dynamic, it had him questioning if Mitsuki should be looking at Kawaki as being really the sun to his moon. Yet ironically, Mitsuki held so much bloodlust for the person that was actually his son. When Mitsuki battled Boruto, the battle didn't go the way that he thought. Boruto was not fighting him with the intention to kill. Instead, he fought him with restraint, the exact opposite of what Mitsuki's memories of him were. His memories of Boruto, which were really memories of Kawaki, were someone who fought with the experience of someone who had been trained in real combat and quickly looked for killing strikes in battle. Boruto battled him like a shinobi, like a child of Naruto. The clashes weren't to prove who was stronger. It was Boruto's effort to connect with them, to make Mitsuki see through the fog of omnipotence. When Mitsuki asked, "Why didn't you kill me?" when Boruto held that sword to his throat, Boruto merely told him, "Search your heart," and while he did so, he'd be the sun to his moon, because Boruto knew Mitsuki was wavering when it came to Kawaki. He outright said it. That moment touched even Ada when she looked back on the scene. In the time since then, Mitsuki has shown loyalty to Boruto's message without having to utter a single word. When Boruto was captured, he went along with Shikamaru's plan. He could have refused. Orders from the Hokage be damned, it's wrong. But he helped Boruto escape. When Ryu asked for information on Boruto, it was his mission to help the Sand Shinobi, yes. And yet, look at Mitsuki's responses when he was captured. He knew Sarada was close to Boruto. He couldn't be certain that she didn't know anything about Boruto that would help Ryu find him. For all he knew, they were talking in secret, but Boruto, being someone that Sarada cares so deeply for, caused Mitsuki to say, "Stay quiet." It wasn't just because he knew Ryu would kill him regardless. It was an acknowledgement. Even if you know something, I know what Boruto means to you, and you are my teammate. I won't let you betray yourself to do something that you'll never be able to live with. When Kobu came into the village seeking answers, Mitsuki didn't sell out Shikamaru or Boruto. He stayed loyal. That matters. That matters a lot. Something had been shifting inside of Mitsuki long before he stood side by side with him in the battle against Mamushi. Now, the idea of him being side by side with Boruto as they fight to save Sarada, that feels like the next logical progression for the character, especially when you look at the pattern that we've seen so far in Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. Unlike the trap that a lot of battle shonen fall into, Boruto has managed to keep side characters relevant power-wise. In the case of super important characters like Kawaki or Sarada, they get new power-ups or they reawaken sleeping powers. In the case of Sumire, she makes herself useful by upgrading Boruto's sword. Konohamaru shows that he made a brand new jutsu that was specifically meant to counter Sasuke's Chidori and take advantage of the Rasengan being superior to that jutsu and adding wind release on top of it because Chidori uses lightning release. Araya and Inojin got upgrades via new support roles in the form of a flashy new sword and a new jutsu. Himawari pulled up with Kurama's power. Every arc, someone improved. Mitsuki is one of the few characters remaining who had above average screen time in the first part of Boruto's manga who has not taken that next step. That's important. This is his moment in my opinion. Again, no shade at Kawaki, but it just makes more sense for this to be Mitsuki's shining moment. This plot line feels like a Team 7 story. Sure, it involves code, and there's a ton of history with code and Kawaki. I'm not arguing there's not a payoff for Kawaki being there. There is one. I won't be disappointed. I won't argue it. Again, narratively, it makes sense. I'm not one of these people that bitches and moans when something I want to happen in the story doesn't take place. However, for the Boruto and Mitsuki dynamic, this does need to happen. What was part of the reason Mitsuki gravitated towards Boruto before? His brightness, even in the face of dark times. Boruto is at a point right now where he could break. Mitsuki needs to see that. He needs to see how Boruto responds to it. You want Mitsuki to realize without a shadow of a doubt who his real son is. This is the moment you need him to be there. When Boruto is on the brink of despair and battling his own darkness, Mitsuki needs to see that. Part of why Team 7 works is that they were written as far back as Naruto chapter 700, so the Kishimoto era, as being characters who needed each other. In Naruto chapter 700, we saw only Boruto and Sarada. Mitsuki had not been created by Kishimoto yet. Sarada was following Boruto around the village, and it became clear there was something there with Sarada being the only one out their class to notice Boruto and keep tabs on him after everyone else shut down his idea of a prank. In Naruto Gaiden, Mitsuki was the one there with Boruto when he was going through his daddy issues and he was close by. Sarada, through proxy, was there reminding Boruto of how precious even a meal from Hinata was because she took the time to make it for Naruto. Boruto was a brat, but her words broke through even when Boruto pretended that they didn't. In the Mitsuki one-shot manga chapter that Kishimoto drew, yes, that is in Boruto's manga, but that is a Kishimoto drawn chapter. We see exactly how important Boruto was supposed to be to Mitsuki's character arc. Just as Boruto ended up being important to Sarada's character, he's also important to Mitsuki's character. In the Boruto movie, another Kishimoto story, we saw multiple times how close-knit this team were. Like in the first exam of the Chunin exams, where Mitsuki and Sarada worked together seamlessly to pick up Boruto's slack because he got caught slipping. Kishimoto has a chance to build further on what Kishimoto laid bare in Naruto chapter 700, Naruto Gaiden / the Shin arc, the Mitsuki one-shot manga chapter, and Boruto the movie. Throughout part 1, Kishimoto was doing it, but he was also setting the stage for Sarada and Mitsuki to take leaps in power after both of them voiced their frustration at how Boruto was leaving them behind. From the Sasuke retrieval arc to the Pain Assault arc to even stretches of the war, what made those arcs work weren't just the insane battles. The battles were insane, but it was the relationships and the peeling back of the curtains that we saw, in my opinion. There's a chance to further that imprint here on Sarada's retrieval mission. Look at the symbolism. Boruto is the sun for Mitsuki. Mitsuki is the moon. Sarada has the Mangekyo Sharingan pattern of a sun. Her jutsu is a variation of Amaterasu's name, the sun goddess Ohirume. The two suns of Team 7 and the one moon, a moon who can't generate his own light, and yet this is that moment for Mitsuki to prove Boruto right, that he doesn't need to be in the light of others. Instead, he can do his own thing, and Boruto said until Mitsuki was ready, he would be there for him. Now Mitsuki has a chance for both members of Team 7 to save Sarada, the member of Team 7 who was trying to be the glue to hold their bond together from the moment she tried to stop Mitsuki from killing Boruto. It comes full circle. It's poetic, and it works even better if Mitsuki is the next one who evolves. Is it some jutsu Kashin Koji teaches him from another timeline that Mitsuki created? Sure, maybe. Is it something that is part of the genetic engineering that Orochimaru did when he made Mitsuki a clone? Sure. Is it something to do with Sage Mode that expands the lore behind Sage Mode? Sure. We don't know. But what we do know is that Kishimoto has a chance to do something that takes us all by surprise, which I would argue the story needs exactly just that. Boruto is continuing a trend that you've seen a lot of battles shown in. It's a classic cliche. Power awakens in response to a need. Sometimes it's overwhelming emotional trauma like we saw with Sarada. Sometimes it's making a deal with the devil like we saw with Boruto. Sometimes it's a creepy old man messing with your body like we saw with Kawaki. What will it be for Mitsuki? The need that triggers the moment where the young snake sheds his skin? We don't know. But Kishimoto does have a chance if he wants to take it. Obviously, if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing and clicking here on the left to check out this Naruto Explained video, or click here on the right to check out this video from the Anime Explained channel, like that Bleach video I talked to you guys about earlier.